Okay, well, first of all, want to welcome everybody to the second speaker in our speaker series, Dr. Nancy Doda. And prior to me starting tonight, I want to acknowledge that I didn't do this last time, but I want to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Dakel, Nedutin, and Wet'suwet'en people. That's consisting of 14 First Nations that we're proud as a district to live, work, and play on. So let me just do a very quick introduction to both Nancy and to our panel, and then I'm going to turn it over to these folks. So I've had the pleasure of knowing Nancy for several years. And so let me just tell you a little bit about her and then how we came to know her. So Nancy began her middle years teaching at an exemplary model middle school. And in all the time that I've known her, I've never asked her about that school, but I know that it must have had an experience on her professionally because she's never looked back at working with middle years students since then. Nancy, along that journey, Nancy's completed her doctorate and she's worked with educators in all 50 states in the US, in Canada, in Europe, Australia, Japan, and regions in the Far East. Nancy's international influence in middle years education is what first brought her to ST91 many, many years ago to consult and guide our work in developing the middle years program at NVSS. She continues to work with ST91 middle years teachers and is considered a critical friend to our school district and to much of British Columbia. So that intro probably doesn't do justice to all of the things that Nancy does, but she's also pretty humble. And so I wanted to introduce her that way.
I'm going to try tonight to address in this brief time we have together two really essential questions. One is a little bit about the developmental nature of young adolescents, this age group between 10 and 15. And then I'm going to really talk about what ensures optimum growth and learning for the middle years, because that is really critical to understanding not only the district's focus on honoring diversity, but to particularly understand the middle years programs and across the country, really, not just in this region of the country. So this is really, these are the two questions. And because we're going to be together with slides and then at the very end have this lovely opportunity for questions and answers, I'm going to give you a little homework challenge during the time I'm speaking. If you could just jot down questions that emerge in your mind as we go along, and you might think about these two questions in particular. What most challenges you or your young adolescent during this time of life? And what do you really hope for when you consider the education of your young adolescent or the young adolescents in your community?